council to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Present.
Brubaker,
Here.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Here.
Lucas.
Here.
Thank you. Move to the agenda for this evening. Are there any corrections to the agenda for this evening's meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval of the agenda?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
The opposed, motion carries. Minutes from the last meeting, which are in the packets for review. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of the last council meeting? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. If you're here to address the council on any of the items on the agenda, or at the end of the meeting when we ask for anything else to come in front of the council, please fill out the registration card. And when the time comes that your item or the end of the meeting and you want to address council, present that to the clerk, and then you'll have up to 4 minutes to address council. Moving on to communication requests, information items, number 2, communications from Moberly Crossings Community Improvement District. This is here for our review, is not a item for approval. Are there any questions in regards to this budget or anything you'd like to add, Mr. Crane?
No, this must be presented with the budget in accordance with section 67.1471.2 of the revised statute.
In regards to the Moberly Crossing?
Yeah.
Okay. Questions, anyone on that budget for Mr. Crane or anyone else? All right, then we'll move on to number 3, communications from the Downtown Community Improvement District, which is their budget for fiscal year 22-23. Is that the same status?
Yep, same statute applies to this community improvement district as well.
Okay. Questions about their budget, anyone? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to public hearing and move to number 4, receipt of bids for the 2022 street improvement.
Yes, Mayor, we received these bids on our street improvements. We had a bid from Missouri Petroleum Products for $3.60 a square yard and Vance Brothers for $4.50 a square yard. We ask that these bids be accepted.
All right, questions about the bid on the 2022 street improvement? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It is approved. Moving on to number 5, receipt of bids for a 10 horsepower, 120-gallon air compressor.
Yes, Mayor, we received 4 bids, the lowest bid being Napa Auto Parts for a 10 horsepower compressor, price of $4,099.99. We ask that these bids be accepted.
All right. Is there any questions about the particular bid? Is there a motion to approve it?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to the next item, which is the consent agenda. And so at this time, you'll see the items in the consent agenda. Are there any of those that anyone would ask to be taken out of the consent agenda? All right, hearing none, then I would ask for a motion to read the entire amount of resolutions in the consent agenda. Is there a motion to that effect? Okay, there's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All right. First and only reading of the consent agenda.
Bill number R1253, a resolution accepting the bid and authorizing contracting for the 2022 Micro Seal Street Improvement Project. Bill R1254, a resolution accepting the bid proposal of Napa Auto Parts and authorizing the purchase of a 10 HP compressor. Bill number R1255, a resolution permitting the Moberly Rotary Club, Altrusa Club, Fraternal Order of Eagles, and the Knights of Columbus to locate and operate a carnival in downtown Moberly from June 15 to June 18, 2022, and the closure of downtown streets and the operation of a beer garden during the 16th Annual Railroad Days. Bill 1256, a resolution authorizing safe passage taste of Missouri wine stroll for August 13, 2022 on public sidewalks, alleys, and public grounds and within 100 feet of a school or church. Bill number R1257, a resolution authorizing closing of streets and parking lots and public consumption of alcohol for Junk Junction and the Gus Macker basketball tournament. Bill number 1258, a resolution authorizing a consent to assignment of the agreement between the city and Cox McLean Environmental Consulting Services, Inc.
Okay.
Oh, I'm still going.
Oh, sorry. Number 15, huh?
Sorry, here. Bill number R1259, a resolution authorizing the purchase of VHF mobile radios from Motorola. Bill number R1260, a resolution authorizing the purchase of ballistic shields from Hardwire LLC. And bill number 1261, a resolution approving a lease agreement with the Moberly Area Chamber of Commerce for property located at 220 and 219 West Reed Street and authorizing the city manager to execute the lease. And the last item on the consent agenda, bill number R1262, a resolution approving a lease agreement with Edge Aviation LLC for property located at the Omar N. Bradley Airport and authorizing the city manager to execute the lease.
All right, thank you. So are there any questions in regards to any of those resolutions that have just been read in the consent agenda?
I do have a question, Mr. Mayor, on
right.
number 14. I think this may be a question for the city attorney, but I noticed in the rental agreement that it stated that the rental agreement was for a month. Is that correct?
Yes, it's just for use during the Gus Macker tournament, I think is the request.
I assume it may be storage or...
That's what it was for last year,
Okay.
I know. Yes.
That's all the questions I had.
All right. Anyone else? All right, hearing no further questions, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll move on to ordinances and resolutions, which takes us to item 16.
Yes,
An ordinance.
sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving a cooperation agreement for special events and request to be read for consideration.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperation agreement for special events funding and providing further authority.
All right. You've heard the brief reading of the ordinance. Is there any questions, discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance approving a cooperation agreement for special events funding and providing further authority.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 17, an ordinance.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving a promotional services agreement and providing further authority. Ask for it to be read for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving a promotional services agreement and providing further authority.
All right, you've heard the reading of the ordinance. Any discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance approving a promotional services agreement and providing further authority.
All right, you've heard the second reading of the ordinance. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas,
Yes.
Okay. Motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to number 18.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement for the operation of a farmer's market at the Fennel Complex and providing further authority. I ask that it be read twice for consideration of passage.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement for the operation of a farmer's market at the Fennel Complex and providing further authority.
All right, heard the first reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none, second reading.
An ordinance approving an intergovernmental cooperation agreement for the operation of a farmer's market at the Fennel Complex and providing further authority.
Any further discussion? I guess I have one question. Since this is a fairly lengthy contract, when and where will the metrics of the amount of farmers market business be given to council as to the performance? I know I asked for that when we brought it up in work session. He said, so should that be in the contract, or is that just something we're going to ask for after the fact to know how much actually got sold, how many vendors we had, things like that? If we really have a farmer's market, or are we talking about something that's different than that?
No, we expect after this season to regroup and decide if there's any public support for continuing it, if there's vendors interested, and then if the city wants to continue with that relationship and the health department.
So will the Randolph County Health Department be keeping statistics of
Yes.
what's done there that we'll be able to see at the end?
Yeah.
And measure it? Okay. Anyone else? Last time? All right. Second reading, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second?
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas,
Yes.
Okay, motion passes and the ordinance is carried. So we'll move on to number 19.
Mr. Mayor, I have an ordinance regarding approving a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission cost share agreement for Business 63 Highway. I ask that it be read twice for passage.
All right, you've heard the motion for the reading of the ordinance. Is there a second?
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First reading.
An ordinance approving a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission cost share agreement for Business 63 Highway and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city of Moberly.
All right, you've heard the first reading. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Second reading.
An ordinance approving a Missouri Highways and Transportation Commission cost share agreement for Business 63 Highway and authorizing the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city of Moberly.
All right, heard the second reading. Any further discussion? Mr. Crane, it may be in there and I missed it, but what's the time frame on all this? Is it next spring
On which part?
on doing the road work? The project?
No, that's probably going to be a year or two out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Ordinance is passed. Moving on to 20, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution recording the destruction of certain local government records. Ask to be read for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution recording the destruction of certain local government records.
All right. Questions about the resolution? All right, hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution passes. Moving to number 21, resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution accepting permanent sewer easements from various owners for the Route JJ Regional Sewer Project. I ask for it to be read for consideration.
All right, for the motion for the reading of the resolution, is there a second?
Second?
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye. Aye. Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution accepting permanent sewer easements from various owners for the Route JJ Regional Sewer Project.
All right, for the reading of the resolution, any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And a second, motion and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, resolution's passed. Moving to number 22, a resolution.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution authorizing and accepting a second change order to the Tannehill Park splash pad contract with Urban Built Construction, Inc. for unanticipated expenses. I ask that it be read once for consideration and passage.
All right, for the reading, or you've heard the motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution authorizing and accepting a second change order to the Tannehill Park Splash Pad contract with Urban Belt Constructors, Inc. for unanticipated expenses.
All right, for the reading of the resolution. Any further discussion? Anything you'd like to add to it, Mr. Bach?
You can see from the list, there's a net of just over $1,600. There's some deductions, some additions, and essentially we're, when we get the contractors eyeing it, sometimes they see things that either we or the designers don't. So there's some adjustments. One of the biggest ones in terms of increases is widening the sidewalk approach around the restroom and narrowing it elsewhere. So not a huge cost increase, but we tried to save some costs where we could to offset it.
Questions for Mr. Bach? Thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Resolution is passed. Moving on to number 22, a resolution.
No, I think we're on 23.
I'm sorry, 23, a resolution.
Mr. Mayor, I have a resolution appropriating money out of the Treasury of the City of Moberly, Missouri in the amount of $688,742.15. Ask that it be read once for consideration.
All right, there's a motion for the reading of the resolution. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First and only reading.
A resolution appropriating money out of the Treasury of the City of Moberly, Missouri in the amount of $688,742.15.
I hereby certify that there is sufficient money standing to the credit of the City of Moberly, Missouri, unappropriated in the several funds covered by this resolution to meet the requirements of this resolution. Submitted Gregory L. Hodge, City Treasurer. Any discussion of the resolution? Hearing none. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to number 24, consideration for approval of new and renewal liquor applicants.
Mayor and council, we've received a new liquor application from Los Amigos Mexican Restaurant and renewal applications from Fastlane FL 59 Moberly, Moberly Mart, the Wabash, and Walmart Supercenter number 40, and we ask that you approve these applications.
All right. Questions of the clerk about any of the applications? Hearing none, is there a motion for approval?
So move.
And a second.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. They're approved. Moving to number 25, or excuse me, that would be the end. Is there anything else to come in front of the council for this evening? Please come forward to the mic. Does the clerk have your card?
Yes.
Okay. Please state your name and address.
My name,
It's not, is it, hold on, is it on? Hell, let them get that on so that everyone that's on can hear. Okay. I'm
Can you
sorry,
hear me
go
now?
right ahead.
Okay. My name is Donna Hartman. I live at 515 Shoemate Avenue in Moberly. I want to thank you for the opportunity to come forward and just want to express my concerns about an episode that happened in my neighborhood. On Friday, April 22nd, around 6:30 p.m., I had two pit bulls enter my property and tried to get into my fenced yard. The dogs were very agitated and in full attack mode by the time when they got there. They were already upset. They were trying to climb my fence and get into my yard. They were actually biting the metal fence. They were so frenzied, they were actually like biting at the fence. I'm sorry if I'm reliving it, it's a little bit unnerving. I was terrified. I was yelling and screaming to get them to leave. And I have no doubt that if they had been successful in getting into my yard, I surely would not be here tonight. All of a sudden, they took off as if they were called. So I got my dog into my house, and I went out front, and I did not see anything. I didn't see the dog. I didn't see anybody. My neighborhood has a lot of small children. And my first concern, because it was not dark yet, that these dogs were leaving my property to go onto the street and maybe find someone else. I was panicked knowing that there were children out there and that these dogs were in, as I said, a pack mode. I've trained dogs, so I'm very aware of their attitude at the time. My first thought was when I got into the house and I secured my dog, I called the non-emergency number of the police department. At that time, I was told that, I'll read exactly. I spoke to someone who advised me that there are only 2 police officers on, and they could only handle human calls. I expressed how out of control these 2 dogs were, and that maybe a car could maybe come down Shoemate just to make sure that they weren't doing any other damage. I was given the number for animal control. I was told that they were like 20 minutes. They had their shift was over 20 minutes ago. I called the number and I left a message. But at this point, I really didn't have any kind of authority that could maybe help with this problem of these dogs. Let me say at this point that I'm not here to admonish any department of the city. I am bringing this episode to the forefront because what I did at that time, and what I did is I put it on Facebook, and I'm not really thinking that's the right way to go. But I don't want to be here and get people in trouble. I personally know that there's a special place in heaven for civil servants. You know, you all put up with a lot of rewards and trials in your career. But my only goal is to bring this to light, as I said. And I am new to Moberly. I've only been here 3 years. But once I put it on Facebook, I was inundated with stories that people shared. Somebody shared how they knew their dog was killed in their own yard. I understand that dog has been put down, which is a shame for the dog, because if it was under control, it wouldn't have happened. Responsible dog owners, I'm not sure how qualified that is in this city, in this town rather. I got a history of how these loose dogs have been in the past. People shared stories, as I said, of the pets getting killed. Parents worried about letting their kids out come the summertime, letting them out to play. I will tell you, after this incident, I went into my fenced yard for at least 5 days with my dog, fearful that I could be doing something and they could get in again. There was a lot of frustration that was expressed on that Facebook page too. I've read it in the past, people talking about guns, questioning what the law would be if you shot a dog. You know, I mean, this can't be the resolution. The following week, I was able to speak with the animal control. I learned that fines are being given to the dog owners once they were located. Unpaid fines are being sent to the court system. There's a rise in incidents from what I've learned. It is important that the increase be the result of people. The thought is, and I know this from other aspects of my social life, is that a lot of people got dogs during the pandemic. They were home, they had, looking at each other, let's get a dog or a pet or something. So what my thought is, and it's been conferred by the animal control, is that now people are going back to work and these dogs are on the loose. They don't have the time to spend with them as they did in the past, and people are just letting them out. So it is increased. I don't have the data to provide, but I'm sure I could locate it that you may all have more access to it than I do as far as dog bites incidents over the last year. What I would like to do is, I guess I hate to bring up a problem and not give a resolution, but once again, I'm in a learning mode here, being only a third-year resident. What I'd like to encourage the city council to do is to turn a new eye towards the safety issue of this. Please review what needs to be changed as far as policy and procedures. Maybe there's something falling in the gap there that you would know, once again, better than I would. But I'm imploring you to do something about it. Research can be done to support those who must handle these calls. As I said, I'm not here to admonish any of the animal control or our local police department, but I am thinking there's a piece missing in responding to concerns like this. I don't want to experience those dogs ever again. I'm from the rural mountains of Pennsylvania, and I've come up across a black bear or two in my time. So right now I have my bear spray ready to go if they show up again. I've taken precautions to secure my property. I'm changing the layout of my fence. That's what I can do. But what chance will a child riding a bike have against these dogs? Or say a senior walking their own small little dog and come across these animals? I would ask the city leaders to take this issue seriously. On the Facebook post, there was a lot of, good luck with that going to the city council. It seems I'm not the first one to come forward. Maybe they haven't taken the steps to come forward and make it more of a stressful concern. The issue, if not taken seriously, I don't want to know about it. I'm doing what I could do. I'm going off script here. I'm going to do what I can do to make
You need to wrap it up.
Okay. And one other thing, as I was coming out here tonight, I just read an article about a local animal control officer that was killed by a pack of dogs. And now it's Alabama, but we don't want that news in Moberly. So thank you for your time.
All right. Well, thank you for your concern. Mr. Lucas.
I have a couple questions for you, if you don't mind. First of all, thanks for coming and telling your story. She did the right thing, and she'd emailed me this story and said she was going to come and tell it in front of council, and I appreciate you getting the courage to do that. The last thing that I want to hear is for somebody to come and tell me that they are fearful to walk outside in their own yard and our community. I don't like that at all. One of the questions that I had, the dogs that you had seen, do you know if they were repeat offenders? Or these dogs ones that had been reported before? Or they just showed up just randomly?
I have never seen them before.
Mm-hmm.
They were black and brown spotted dogs, pit bulls, and they both had collars on.
And they were pit bulls?
And they were pit bulls, yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
Unfortunately, and the breed has a bad name, but that's, once again, I go back to the owner.
Right.
Well, okay, Mr. Kimmons?
Yes, one of those was in my neighborhood. It was a black and white spotted pit bull walking down the street. As far as what the council has done, some years ago, we put in place a leash law. So, dogs are supposed to be on a leash. The difficult part is trying to pawn off an individual's responsibility to our animal control,
Right.
who only gets called when it's over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And your concern is valid, and I appreciate you coming here and saying that.
Thank you.
But in defense of what the animal control does, they're called always after the fact.
Mhm.
But I have also seen them on many occasions find where that dog lives and deal with the owners. And then that takes it out of our hands and it goes to the courts. But they really do work hard at trying to do that. And I know people, when they don't see that resolution within the next 20 minutes, well, they're not doing anything. Well, they really are. But how do you instill in people that they have a duty to maintain that animal, whether it's a pit bull or a cockapoo, I don't care. They still have a duty to maintain that dog and keep it in. That's been one of the things that we've struggled with, if people won't take that.
My experience is if you hit somebody in their wallet, you're going to get their attention.
That takes us to the next level.
In anything,
Yeah.
in any violations or whatever. And
Can I ask a question?
I'm hoping that I'm hoping that it goes. That's what I'm happy to hear. Not happy, but I'm glad that fines are being given out, court dates are being set, and that needs to be taken.
I just want you to know that this council doesn't turn a blind eye to that.
Oh,
And, the resolution may not come as quickly as everybody wants it, including the five of us here, but we are aware of it, and we do appreciate when a citizen like yourself comes forward and expresses that.
right, and I don't mean to come here to
Not at all.
admonish anybody. My thought is, after that happened, if I didn't take action, I really felt that a kid was going to get murdered.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a rag doll, the way these animals were acting.
Got another question here, Mr. Brubaker.
Sorry.
Well, first off, thank you very much for coming and sharing this with. Sorry you went through all this. I want to make sure I understood what you said. On the two dogs, the pit bulls you're talking about, did you say they did find the owners? Or do you know?
There's a street over that I'm being told that those dogs may live over there. I don't know. I've never seen those.
You live
dogs.
on Shoemate, so it might
I
be
live on Shoemate.
Longview or Terra Park. Terra
So
Park,
Park
yes.
is the next road street over, and that's where I'm hearing through the neighbors that that's where they might live. After the dogs left my property, I only found this out a couple days later. They went down to the corner house, and a wife was on a hammock out front, and they came up and scratched her. And I saw her scratch. It was like longer than a foot. And they took off. Now her husband went and followed them, and he couldn't find where they were. But it's not like a little waggy dog. If it was a bear, I would have known what to do.
Okay.
Now I come to the city council. So
All right.
Thank you.
Thank
all
you.
right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else come in front of the council? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn to work session followed by closed session. There's a motion to that effect.
So move.
And a second.
Second?
Been motioned and seconded. Roll call, please.
Jeffrey,
Yes.
Brubaker,
Yes.
Kimmons,
Yes.
Kaiser,
Yes.
Lucas.
Yes.
Okay. So the motion approved, and we are adjourned from regular session. And we will move on to the agenda for the work session for this evening. And the first item on the agenda of the work session is appointments to the Park Board.
Yes, Mayor, we have 3 openings on the Park Board. Currently, we only have 3 applications on file. They're all reappointment requests from Don Burton, Russ Kinnison, and Rachel Grimm.
All right. Does anyone have any questions about the appointments? All right. Does anyone oppose to moving that forward to the next meeting? No opposition to that. We'll move that forward and move on to number 2, notice of public hearing for the 2022-23 tax levy.
Mayor, this is the annual tax levy that we have every year. The public hearing will be held at the May 16th meeting with the annual tax rates received from the Randolph County Clerk and the Missouri State Auditor. And then the ordinance will follow, and it will be brought forth to council in August.
Okay. Any questions about the hearing? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right. No opposition. That will move forward to the next regular meeting. And we'll move on to number 3, discussion regarding a purchase from Schulte Supply, Inc.
Yes, Mayor. This is a purchase of water meters going to be used in testing and verification of the original installation water meters as part of our contract with ESP.
Okay,
So in order to ascertain the accuracy of the meters that were installed and to verify, it's necessary that we purchase these meters, replace the existing meters that will be removed for testing. And then once these meters have been tested and they've proven to be accurate, they'll go on the shelf for spares. If they prove not to be accurate, they will be repaired under warranty by the vendor, and then they'll go on the shelf for spares.
okay.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, no opposition. That'll move forward to the regular meeting. We'll move on to receipt of bids for mowers for public utility, or a mower for public utilities. Oh, you got it.
That'd be me again.
All right.
The wastewater treatment plant mows the wastewater treatment plant and lift stations with a mower that is now at the end of its days. It's undergone repairs in each of the last few years, and it was budgeted to be in the capital budget to replace, and these are the bids necessary to replace that mower.
Okay. Questions, anyone about the bids? Is anyone opposed to moving that forward? Hearing none, then that will move forward to the next meeting. Thank you. And we'll move on to receipt of bids for sidewalk, driveway approach, and curb replacement program.
We received one bid on that. Local contractors, sometimes I wish we'd get more bids, to have comparison, but these prices are right in line with what we had last year, slightly higher. So we feel like it's a good bid, quality bid, and we've had experience with the contractor. He's done a good job for us, so staff recommended moving forward with it.
All right. Questions about the bids on the sideway, driveway approach, and curb replacement?
I have a question.
Mr. Kaiser.
What do we do for times when a citizen wants to replace their sidewalk or driveway? They reach out to the winning bid person here, and they're told that job is too small, they won't do it.
Well, they don't reach out to the bid. They call us. So they have to schedule that through us. So if they schedule it through us, they won't tell them that.
Okay.
It's not that they have to bid it. So if they call the contractor direct, that's something completely separate. So
to take advantage of the 50/50, they need to come and schedule.
well, it's
to
actually
you.
with the residents we do. It's more like, it's not exactly, but it's about $2 and some change cost share. So it's more like a 1/3, 2/3. The city pays 2/3 on sidewalk replacement. On curb and gutter or on commercial replacement, it's a 50/50.
Okay. But residential driveway, it's 50/50.
We don't, not residential driveway approaches are not typically in there. They'll do that as part of the sidewalk program, but residential driveway approaches are not part of this program.
All right.
Anyone else? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, hearing none, that'll move forward to the next meeting. And we'll move on to number 6, an application for rezoning requested by the city of Moberly.
We have several here, and what these are, most of the areas, I tried to give you, the council, a bigger map to reflect from, so you kind of see an area there better. That's kind of fuzzy, I know. Ameren is sorry. This is Ameren UE's facility, and then our banquet property that we own over here, the green space. So these are property, this is the city municipal parking lot. So the first location is right here, 402. So this is something that's owned by the city. It's currently B3, and we're recommending that to go to R3 multifamily for potential redevelopment. This area right here is all it's commercial or mixed use, and we feel like that there's been a lot of, for example, these houses will never become downtown B2 businesses. It's gonna be residential or maybe some light commercial, but we're looking at trying to get all of this revised into what the zone it should be and what we will see infill in that area. So again, first item is right here, and then city owned B3 to R3. And it was approved by planning and zoning.
Yeah, questions, anyone? The next 3 are in regards to this zoning change, but if you have opposition, otherwise move on to the next one.
Okay.
Please.
Yes, sir. larger area here, over here along Johnson Street. There's several parcels. It's a mixed bag. The city owns this one. This one's privately owned house still here. Most of these are vacant. The city owns a lot here. And there are a lot of views for redevelopment that is currently zone B3, and we're recommending going to R2. That could be single family or duplexes.
Anyone? No?
Tom, is that Franklin Street there?
This is Franklin, yes, sir.
Okay, and then you're looking at the west side.
Yep, this would be across. So
Johnson.
right over here was the old plumbing supply,
Right.
and now it's a daycare, or it's being refurbished to be a daycare. So it's
Okay.
across the street. These are all vacant lots, and this is all owned by the corner bar down there.
Okay.
All those lots.
Thank you.
Anyone opposed to moving it forward? Okay. Next one.
Next parcels are these two blue ones right here. So this again ties together with the city property here. It'd be just a rezoning from B2H district, which is the downtown, to R3. So both these would be R3.
Just hypothetically, if somebody had a business they wanted to put there, they could come back and ask for a change after this.
They could ask for rezoning. Now, currently, see, this is downtown business, so it's not like, it's like a downtown storefront, so 0 lot lines. It's not your downtown, so they would probably want a B3, which is your general commercial, like what you'd expect to see, like on Moberly, where they're set back and off-street parking. B2 is like 0 lot lines, no off-street parking requirements, so that's really just not the criteria that you'd want to see there as a commercial, as a B2H anyhow.
Okay.
And
Anyone
we did have
opposed?
some residents from that area that were here in favor of it.
I have one question. Would these zonings disqualify an Airbnb, VRBO, those things? Have we ever set any guidelines on where those can and cannot go?
They are B2 downtown district is automatic, and R3 I think are the automatic districts, and then residential single family and R1s and R2s are where they're more sustained. Would have to be go through conditional use.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
And there's, like I said, most of these lots are vacant, and so there's a lot of infill lots in here, so but these could be potential for that.
Right.
All right.
Next parcel is the orange, number 9. That is B2H district. It's a larger tract. It's a mix of vacant city lots. The city has a lot here, I think a lot right here, and then the rest are privately owned, some housing, some vacant. And that is recommended to go to R3 multifamily. So those would be an automatic use for Airbnb if somebody wanted to do one of those there.
Anybody have questions? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? Okay, move on.
Last on
please.
the corner lot here is R2 and recommend to go to R3. So the purpose of that was the original purchaser bought that and was talking about splitting it, but they've talked about doing maybe 3 units on the lot, and it is large enough to fit that.
All right, questions about that particular item? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? Hearing none, we'll move that forward to the next meeting. And we'll move on to item 11.
Mill and overlay.
Yes, capital, our paving, this is our bids this year for paving. I was hopeful last year, we were at $77 a ton. Laid down price, as you can imagine, our oil prices are quite a bit higher, and we even did an inflator, which means our oil price, it's based on the oil price can fluctuate. It usually only makes a few dollars one way or the other, but it can have a little bit of fluctuation on there. We're hoping to get our prices down. So we still came in at $94.50 a ton, considerably less than the others. And then, the smaller quantity that we have bid out is for parking lots. There's just a slight difference on tonnage where Christensen is a little lower for coordination efforts. And then also when you look over and add in the milling cost, we'll have to do some milling on all those locations. Capital paving is the lowest and best bid on overall.
Okay, questions about the bids? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? Hearing none, that will move forward to the next meeting. Move on to number 12, discussion concerning a mowing and hold harmless agreement between the city of Moberly, Missouri and Gary Seidel.
Good evening, council. This was the same as last fall that we got this agreement done, but it was not in time for the farmer to get in and do any mowing. So we took the same agreement, repackaged it as a 3-year agreement beginning this year to allow 3 mowings of the property. It's very small. We advertised last year, or rather contacted 3 different potential hay farmers and only had interest from this one.
Okay. Now, does this contract also include the parcels we bought up there at auction?
It is that, yeah.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
just that?
Mhm.
So this isn't the old city trash dump, this is other property? Okay,
This was purchased a year or 2 ago
yeah,
off that private road.
right. Okay, questions, anyone, about this particular agreement? All right, hearing none, we'll move that forward. And discussion of purchase of replacement pump for public utilities.
This is a pump in the wastewater treatment plant. The existing pump has been there since day one. It's showing signs of failure. So wastewater treatment plant staff obtained bids for a OEM replacement pump, in other words, an identical replacement pump, and went ahead and solicited those bids as part of replacing in next year's capital. But because of the condition of it, and it's 12 to 18 weeks for delivery, that we decided to go ahead and move it forward early.
All right, questions about this item? So are we going to go ahead and order off of tonight's authority, or are we waiting until it goes to the regular meeting?
No, I think we're fine ordering it at the next meeting, right? Yeah.
With 12 to 18 weeks of delivery, I don't know that a week or two, one way or the other, is going to buy us much.
But the rate lock's good till next meeting for final approval.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got a revised one today that's going to change this one slightly, but it's good for 30 days, so we'll be good for 2
All right,
weeks.
thank you. Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, then I'll move forward, and we'll move on to the final item, which is number 14, a discussion regarding downtown sewer rehab project order, change order, and increase in contract costs.
We're in the midst of a downtown sewer rehab project. The initial part of that is for cleaning and televising the sewer lines that are in question. It's up to around 17,000 linear feet of sewer lines. Once the vendor got started and encountered 6 to 8 inches of gravel in each one of the lines, which you would expect to be that they're combined sewer lines, that drives the cost for that portion of the project up. But it absolutely must be done to get ready for the rehab part of the project, and so that we can take a really good look at the lines to determine what their conditions are, so that the consulting engineer can put together a good solid set of specifications for the rehabilitation.
All right, questions, anyone? So if I remember right, the sewer is going to go in the alley, or is it the water, or both?
Sewer is an alley, yeah.
The sewer is in the alley in many locations. So this is the downtown portion of the combined sewer that is getting cleaned and televised right now.
But currently, there isn't any sewer in the alley, so you're talking about a new
No.
pipe.
No, this is all existing sewer.
Yeah, so all the sewer laterals run down the alleys and to Reed Street Brick Arch.
Okay. I was thinking they were in the front in Reed Street right now.
They're in Reed, there's a main sewer line through Reed Street, and then all the buildings downtown go down the alleys basically and connect to Reed Street. And then it goes that way.
To the north and south, that's correct.
I don't know, somehow I had in my mind that there was going to be something new going down the alley, but maybe that's wrong. Okay,
But
questions?
when it's done and they're rehabbed, they'll be almost as good as new.
Well, it's got to be a lot better than what it is now, because it's not very pleasant at certain times of the year. Mr. Kaiser?
I just have a question. That since that this started out as a $60,000 contract, and we're literally almost tripling it to $165,000, just shy of it. My question is, we've never hidden the fact that we have a combined sewer wastewater. So how did they get so long on their bid to make? I mean, this is a substantial increase. My question is, I mean, there should be some culpability on both sides.
The consultant engineer put together a specification for this project and bid it out as that without any real data as far as the condition, because Moberly staff doesn't have the resources to go in and TV a bunch of this. So a bunch of it was taking a dart and throwing it at the dartboard in the dart room to get us started, because this is an EDA project, and we're receiving significant grant monies to help cover the cost. But you are right, and because it's combined sewer, one would think that you'd be able to anticipate that, but really until the vendor got in there going, we wouldn't know. So the vendor started at the east end of the downtown project and worked 2 days and said, wow, these are really bad. We're going to go to the west end and see if they get better, and they found out they're worse. So once we got that feedback from them, then the consultant was able to put together a new revised estimate of the cost, and that's what you see in front of you.
So is the grant covering this, or is this going to come out
The
of
grant
us?
is a portion of the entire project.
I understand.
This is a piece of the entire project.
My question is this $100,000, is this coming out of the city of Moberly, or is the grant going to cover this $100,000 difference?
It is a grant eligible item.
I'm just amazed about that big of a difference. That's why I'm questioning it. Okay. That's all I have.
Anyone else? Anyone opposed to moving that forward? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And that is the last item on the work session agenda. Is there anything else coming in front of council for the work session? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to adjourn to close
So moved.
session? It's been motioned and seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for coming.